All aboard the hype train! Chugga 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 choo 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 choo. So a lot of people have been asking me, are you going to be playing Wildstar? It seems like a lot of Guild Wars 2 players that were interested in Guild Wars 2 and, didn't really like the end game are kind of leaning towards Wildstar now, right? It's more for the hardcore and there's a lot of end game and stuff like that. I was a little skeptical at the beginning, but I played a lot of it over the past few months and I'm going to give you my thoughts before the game comes out. This is all beta impressions, so I don't really in order to really judge an MMO, you really got to get to the end game. You got to really finish all that filler leveling content and really get to the end and see if you really enjoy that game. Kind of like when you play League of Legends, right? There's no end game in League of Legends, right? You just play it because what? It's fun, right? So that's the factor for me when it comes down to playing a game. Is it fun? When I log in, am I enjoying the combat? Am I enjoying the time that I put into a game? Am I being properly rewarded with satisfaction or loots? All the loots. A lot of people are like, Wildstar is going to be the best thing out there. Oh, slow your roll, buddy. Slow your roll. I usually play every MMO that comes out. I mean, a lot of you guys know me, I'm not a mono gamer. I play a lot of games. And I tend to, splurge a little bit more when it comes down to MMOs. I've played tons of Korean MMOs, Rift, SWTOR, World of Warcraft, of course, Terra Online, The Secret World, of course, RuneScape and MapleStory. I've mentioned those all the time. And even Neverwinter, but man, Neverwinter. That combat was so good. But then you got to the end game and then you kind of figured out they were trying to take your money. And those free-to-play MMOs, man, they get kind of shady and I'm not doing that again. I used to do that. I used to spend a lot of money playing MMOs, okay? Pay to win. I was a victim of that. A little bit victim. What? Elder Scrolls? Nah, skip that one. Then comes Wildstar, that people are kind of getting hyped for, but I don't really think it's that hyped. And yes, a lot of people do know of Wildstar, but most people are just writing it off as some type of WoW in space like they did SWTOR, when that's not the case. WoW clone. WoW clone. I'm gonna name a couple things that I've been wanting in an MMO for a while. Sink my teeth into, but I haven't really found it. Just a few. Dueling. Hardcore. 2v2, 3v3s, and 5v5 arenas. Hardcore. Open world PvP. Mounts. Hardcore. Housing. Guild housing. Raids. Hardcore. And to go all with that is the new combat, which is kind of what I like about Wildstar. Is the combat. I know exactly. It's basically Smite. Look at Smite, the MMO. Almost every single skill is telegraphed. You see, you look on the floor, get out of the reds, and then you are the blues. All your skills have to be targeted, which means most of it has a lot to do with skill. Nothing is tab targeted, which I've kind of got annoyed with. I don't like tab targeting. So this seems to be right up my alley. Plus, I like Smite, I guess. That's a plus too as well. And all those features that I just mentioned that I've been wanting in an MMO are in those MMOs that are tab targeted, and I don't want that. Now, a couple things that people don't like and some things I don't like. Sub fee. I'm not too against sub fee because usually free MMOs, they come at a cost, right? You're getting everything for free, but they have to make their money some way, right? So they're gonna have to push onto you to get these certain things that you have to buy. Usually you end up spending more than 15 bucks a month anyway on the game. Some people don't, but some people spend even more. Now, a subscription fee, it kind of pays them to make sure that you get good content back. They have to make sure that they keep you subscribed because you could leave at any time and you can't go back and play that game. And that's one of the strong features of Guild Wars 2. You can always just come back to the game if you're just not feeling the living story content, which a lot of people tend to do. a lot of people just tend to just log in and living story and just log right out. I don't mind the sub fee, but that's just me. Plus you can pay it with in-game currency, and you know, it could be a free-to-play game for you. Well, buy-to-play game technically, because you still have to buy the box, and then you have a free month, and then you can, you know, decide if you want to play the game or not. Another thing is the devs from Wildstar Carbine Studios will be doing monthly updates, kind of like the Living Story. Now, Carbine is a sister studio to, of course, ArenaNet, and they have talked about certain situations that have happened, and, you know, hopefully Carbine learns from mistakes. Oh, this sounds really bad. You guys have heard on the podcast, the leveling experience is kind of iffy, right? Some of it is very boring, some of it is really cool to see in an MMO, and I never thought they would actually put that in an MMO. And, you know, but more or less, it's kind of that traditional questing. You go here, you kill this, you grab this, you collect this. It's fetch quest, basically. And it is a problem, yeah, because I'm too spoiled on Guild Wars 2 and the leveling experience in Guild Wars 2, at least at launch. Let me clarify. Launch Guild Wars 2 was just the best leveling experience I ever had in any MMO, and I'll probably ever have. Right? Well, I haven't played all of Wildstar, so I don't know, but I don't know, man. It was pretty much some of the best 2 days of non-sleep I've ever spent in my life. Yeah, I tend to know life MMOs. It's in my blood. It runs through my veins. But is the leveling experience that important? How many of you have rushed through max level in an MMO and wait for endgame and played endgame all the time? How many of you? Probably many of you, right? And yes, you do level up alts, but you try to rush through that because you've been through the gameplay already. You've been through all these quests already. Eventually, things get tedious. Eventually, things get old. How important is the leveling experience? Is Wildstar the best thing since sliced bread? No. Is it a perfect MMO? No. Am I interested? Yes. As I said it before, it's all about how much fun I have in the game. And it depends if I'm gonna stay playing Wildstar or not. And if anything, I guess I'll be playing 2 MMOs, which I'm gonna have to juggle. I'm juggling balls right now. That's what you're saying, balls. So basically, I'll be playing Wildstar, not because it's hyped, but because of those reasons I listed. I'm really into mounts. I like mounts. I like mount, and I like hardcore. I've been missing some hardcore for a while, and I need some. I need some of that hardcore. So short answer, yes, I'm gonna be playing Wildstar, and yes, I'm gonna be playing a space bunny. For me, I don't really care about a selfie. Selfie. Let me take a selfie.